Did you know that astronauts have to be really good swimmers? Why do astronauts need to know how to swim so well? Because according to NASA, floating in space is a lot like floating in water. So much so that NASA has built a massive pool, 10 times larger than an Olympic-sized one, so their astronauts can train for spacewalks by going for a swim. You know what else is interesting? The Quran linked space with water as well, when it said, "And it is He who created the night and the day and the sun and the moon, all in an orbit are swimming." That's right. The Quran used the word swimming to emphasize the microgravity and weightless environment of space.
When an animal dies and is rapidly buried underneath the ground, it eventually gets so deep that the oxygen in the air is prevented from reaching it. This significantly slows the decay of the animal, and over a long period of time, special minerals from the earth seep into the animal's body and gradually replace its organic materials cell by cell. This process slowly changes it into stone, which
melting produce foam in a very similar way, like water produces foam on lakes. The foam on metals are impurities. Similarly, the foam on water are impurities of viruses which appear on top of the water. You will surprised to know that Quran mentions this link in very interesting way when it says, "The water flood carries foam, which is similar to foam on metals when they are melted, and this foam is thrown away, but what benefits people remains on the earth."
First, the Quran states that, "And those of you who die and leave wives behind them, they shall wait for 4 months and 10 days. It turns out there's a very good reason for the precise time period given. It's not a random number by any means. Amazingly, even though the Holy Quran was written 1400 years ago, the time of 4 months and 10 days, almost 130 days, is exactly when all of the physiological transitions required for a successful pregnancy occur, including the HCG hormone, a very important hormone for pregnancy, reaching peak levels and then declining and leveling off for the remainder of the pregnancy.
Did you know it is the man sperm which is male or female? The woman egg is simply like cultivated ground that has no say in what is planted. It is simply the place where it grows. If male have X chromosome, means baby is female. And if it has Y chromosome, means the baby is male after fertilization. But before these discoveries, the Quran speaks on this topic too, when it says, "And that he creates the two mates, the male and female, from a male sperm drop when it is emitted." Quran emphasis that it is sperm which present in male determined sex of baby. Did you know if you cut or burn your fingertip, the new skin will restore a same fingerprint pattern as before? Human fingerprint never change. Even if you damage it or you get wound on it, the fingerprint grows back same as before. This is because your fingertip pattern is stored in DNA. Each human have a unique fingerprint. That's the reason it works as human identification print. But did you know Quran mentions this link in very interesting way when God says, "Do people think we cannot reassemble their bones? In fact, we are capable of restoring their very fingertips." Quran mentions uniqueness and restoring of fingertips in an incredible way. Did you know the Holy Quran mentions embryology in great detail? When God says he made human from extract of liquid drop, meaning one sperm out of many. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a secure place. Then we made that drop a hanging mass. Then we developed that hanging mass into a lump looking chewed with teeth. Out of this chewed lump, we built fundamental bones, meaning skull and spinal cord, which we clothed with flesh. Then we brought it into being as a new creation. Even the most biased person would agree these words are incredibly accurate. Did you know the front part of your brain makes decisions? This part of the brain helps humans to lie and helps in other bad works. But did you know the Quran mentions this information 1400 years ago when it says, "A lying, sinful forehead"? The author of Quran acknowledges that forehead, which is front part of brain, helps humans to lie. Did you know the cow milk is filtered blood? When the cow eats food, it goes to the small intestine after a long process. The blood absorbs milk nutrients from the digested food in the small intestine. This blood goes towards udder, and here it filters the nutrients and the milk is formed. Overall, the milk comes after passing between the digested food and the blood. This complicated process is mentioned in the Quran in a very interesting way when it says, "We give you to drink of what is in their bellies, from digested food and between blood, pure milk, pleasant to drink." Interestingly, the word fars also means intestine instead of digested food. The milk also comes from the small intestine. Did you know a pumpkin can save your life if your skin is burnt deeply? An experiment on rats shows that pumpkins have healing properties. The use of pumpkins completely cured the rats' burnt skin, and their hair also started growing. Pumpkin can heal the skin completely if your skin is burnt. But 1400 years ago, the Holy Quran mentions the use of pumpkin for the cure of Prophet Yunus when his skin was burnt by whale's stomach acid. God says, "We threw him onto the open shore while he was ill and caused a pumpkin plant to grow over him." The Holy Quran acknowledges advanced medical techniques.
So here you can see that ashy layer that's just underneath the surface. This is full of burned pottery. It's full of the fragments of human bones. The question is what evidence is there of this burning sulfur that rained down? Well, it seems that the culprit are these sulfur balls that are also found in this area.
Mecca is considered the first place on earth where God Almighty was worshipped, and at that spot, Abraham built the house of God for pilgrimage. The other name of Mecca is referred as Becca in the Holy Quran, which means weeping because it's associated with the weeping of worshippers. Amazingly, the Bible also mentions Mecca as a place of pilgrimage when it says, "Blessed are those who dwell in your house. Blessed are those whose hearts are set on pilgrimage, as they pass through the valley of Becca."
See what happened when they scanned the brain when a man was lying. This experiment shows when a person lies, the front part of the human brain gets excited because it helps humans to lie. But way before this discovery, Quran said something similar about the front part of the brain when it says, "If he does not stop, we shall drag him by his forehead, his lying, sinful forehead." Quran acknowledges that front part of the brain is associated with sins and lying. Did you know the olive oil glows without any heat source? This glow is called the fluorescent glow. Our eyes cannot see this glow, but under ultraviolet light, we can see this mysterious glow. Who can imagine this light 1400 years ago? But Holy Quran mentions it in very interesting way. When it says, "The olive oil glows even if no fire touch it." Today we know that without fire or heat source, the olive oil only can glow by fluorescent light. There are 12 parts in the Surah Yusuf of Quran. These parts are not arranged randomly, but with a precise arrangement, such that the first part matches the last, the second part matches the second last, and so on.
Part 1, he sees a dream. Part 12, the dream gets interpreted. Part 2, the brothers make a scheme against him. Part 11, backwards, the brothers learn their lesson and they ask for forgiveness. Part 3, the wife of the minister tries to scheme against Yusuf. Part 10, going backwards, the wife confesses that she was wrong. Part 4, the ladies tried to seduce or say something about Yusuf.
Amazingly, this was not known at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, so how could he have arranged it?
Going backwards, Part 8, Yusuf is released from prison. Part 6, the king sees a dream. Part 7, the king's dream is interpreted.
Hello everyone. I would like to present to you some objective, factual, and thought-provoking evidence that the Quran cannot possibly be of human origin. Oceans can have layers of lower density water above layers of higher density water because of differences in temperature and or salinity. Internal waves are generated at the boundaries between layers of water when the layer structure is disturbed. Verse number 40 in chapter 24 begins with, or like the darkness of a deep sea, covered by waves, with waves above them and clouds above them.
Did you know that white isn't humans' real color? Scientists have found that the early humans' color was dark black. This is also portrayed in the Quran in very interesting way when it says the Adam was created from dark mud. Interestingly, the word Adam also means dark-colored in Arabic. The Prophet Muhammad also confirmed that Adam was a wheatish brown guy.